Okay, hi YouTube, Mr. Userboss here, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at all the PlayStation Vita games that I own. So this video was requested by Adam Wilson, so thanks to you for that. So first up is Rayman Legends. Now this is a really beautiful game, it runs really nicely on the Vita, and it's one of my favourite platformers of all time. I think the Vita is probably one of the best platforms to own the game on, and it's pretty much inferior in no way to the console versions, which can't be said about a lot of PS Vita ports. Next up we have Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed, which is a fairly good kart racer. I mean, I got the limited edition version, but really it makes no difference. The frame rate is fairly solid, it's got a fairly decent campaign, and the graphics are quite a bit nicer than the 3DS version. But it's a fairly big downgrade from the console game, and it doesn't quite feel like one. But altogether it's, a fairly nice Mario Kart substitute, and I'm fairly happy with it. Then we have Everybody's Golf. So this game I bought right at launch, and to be honest, it's a pretty decent golf game. It's not got huge amounts of depth, but it's got online multiplayer and tournaments which keep you coming back for more. The actual gameplay is pretty solid, and the graphics are sort of okay. I mean, when I initially saw the NGP being demoed, they showed that game, and it looked better than it actually does, but it's fine really. And then Rayman Origins, which is again a really good game, and a port that runs nicely on the Vita. But I mean, obviously I don't play it anymore, considering that Legends is a much better, vaster game which contains like half of Origins in it anyway. But nonetheless, this is a pretty good game, and if you can get it cheap, I'd definitely recommend it. It's worth buying. But Legends is just better in every way, really. And then we have Mortal Kombat, which is something I don't really like, and I don't know why I still have it. I mean, I guess I was just really wanting a fighting game, but when I first turned it on, the graphics are horrible, the gameplay is stuttery, and I didn't enjoy the experience, to be honest. And it's very inferior to the other versions of the game. And then we have Final Fantasy X and X2, which are two games that I've never really gotten into. I tried playing the first one for about 5 hours or so, and I don't know, maybe it just requires more time, but I didn't get my teeth sunk into this one. And I mean, if you guys, know anything about this game which might make me enjoy it more, I don't know, but it just didn't seem that great to me. So then we have all the digital titles. We'll start with Killzone Mercenary. I love this game. I mean, this game is one that you just keep coming back to. There's so much depth. There's trophies that are really difficult to get. The only thing is that it does take up a lot of storage, and there's updates which include patches and things, which is good, but it does mean that it's a very hefty game. Then we have Super Stardust Delta, which is actually really underrated. It provides quite a bit of arcadey sort of fun at a pretty low price tag, so it's a nice little mini game sort of to get. Then we have PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, which I again think is pretty underrated. I mean, a lot of people said that it sort of copied Super Smash Bros. But just wasn't as good. I disagree. I mean, yeah, clearly it is inspired by that game, but in some ways it's better, and it doesn't just copy that game. I mean, it's got its own unique elements that, you can only kill enemies with special attacks and that kind of thing, and it does work. The online is quite diverse, it's challenging, and, it feels like a frantic experience, which is what it's supposed to. Then we have Soul Sacrifice Delta, which, as you may already know, is a really good game. It's told in sort of a storybook fashion, it's fairly interesting, but my only complaint is that you sort of constantly, after every single mission, it takes you through another sort of 5 minutes of story, and it sort of breaks up the experience a little bit. But nonetheless, this is a great sort of hunting / monster killing experience with good graphics and, a solid frame rate. So we also have Frobisher Says, which is just a totally weird but kind of fun little game, and Pixel Junk Monsters, which is, it's a game I really enjoyed on the PSP, and when I heard it was being remade, I instantly said I'm going to buy it. So I bought it, but honestly it's pretty much the same game, and I haven't really played it that much. Then we have Little Big Planet Vita, which, yeah, it's a good game, but I mean, I think it lacks the polish of the console versions. It just didn't feel quite like them. And in a way I sort of found the touch controls a bit annoying, and for some reason I haven't played that as much as I thought I would. And then I also got Muramasa Rebirth, which I'm yet to play. I just got it for $7.99 on the PSN store sale. And then we've got a couple of minigames, and I've got Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, which is probably my favourite PSP game of all time. So I mean, we'll take a quick look at the trophies that I have, because there's a couple of games that I sort of have played and don't have anymore, and that kind of thing. So I mean, I'm not much of a trophy guy. I like the idea of them, and sometimes I sort of make myself collect them just so it makes me go back and enjoy games. But I mean, Guacamelee is one I really destroyed. I love that game so much. I mean, if you haven't played it, you really have to. It's such a refreshing experience, and it's really challenging and fun. You know, there's been also games like Gravity Rush, which I've played, completed, but I just don't have installed anymore because there's nothing really to do once you've completed the main game. Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation was, again, another pretty decent game. The actual mechanics of the game worked beautifully. The only real problem was the ridiculously low frame rate and not so great multiplayer. Smartaz was a pretty fun distraction and actually quite similar to the DS game Dr. Kwashima's Brain Training, which was, you know, fairly nice and a nice break from the other sort of action/shooty kind of games. And then we had the disaster that was the Jak and Daxter collection. That was just horrible. I don't even want to talk about it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my PlayStation Vita. I hope you like this video, and I'd be interested to hear what's on yours. What's your favourite game that you have? Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more.